first responder or a patriot looking for a place to put your skill set, your thoughts, and or want to help continue the mission? You have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we want to put the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to Patriot Playtime. We got your 6 at 6. Now here's your host, Shad Turner of Veterans Unite Podcast and the People's Patriot Project. And as always, Patriot Pride.
And welcome back, everybody. We are live once again on Facebook with another episode of We Got Your 6 at 6. I'm Shad Turner of the Veterans Unite Podcast. We've got Mark Peterson and Andrea Eichmann from the People's Patriot Project. And we've got a great show lined up for you. Tonight, we've got our first metal band that's going to be on, or at least one of the members, and we're going to play some of their music from Luna Muerta. And so we're excited about that. And God only knows what else is going to come out of us tonight, because it's been a week, I tell you. But before we do anything else, we've got to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you can stand, please do. Please remove a hat, and let's say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hoorah! All right. So, like I said, we are back. How is everybody doing today?
Awesome.
Doing great.
How was, so this week was Mark and Andrea's first week back as teachers, or was that last week? No, this was this week.
Can we move on to the next subject matter, please?
Like in-person teaching?
No, it's still from home, so.
That's not teaching.
So how is that coming off a winter break and then having to do that shit online?
Oh my gosh. Actually, Shad, I think they were, I don't want anyone's feelings hurt. They might have been sick of being cooped up with their families. And so it might have been kind of fun to come hang out on a Zoom.
Possibly.
Kind of. Yeah, for a minute.
I know the feeling. That's why I'm back up at the FOB for this week.
Very nice. I noticed a different background there for you, Brian.
Yeah. We got the property surveyed, so now I'm going to walk through the woods this week, putting out fence posts to reestablish the fence line.
Real quick, let's do run through a roll call real quick. Mark Peterson with the People's Patriot Project.
Andrea Eichmann with the People's Patriot Project. Shad.
And yes, Shad Turner with Veterans Unite Podcast.
Brian Gibson with Project Die Hard.
My name is Raymond Charles, and I'm a YouTuber with the channel Stay Metal Ray. What's up, everybody?
And I am Scott Sexton with Forgotten 22.
Awesome. Normally we just do shout-outs, but I actually kind of like that little format there. And
that was pretty nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I want to make sure everyone knows who's on screen. What was that, Brian?
Here. You guys can keep that white stuff up there.
That's
snowing here.
I don't have any choices, and I'm not given any permissions. I've actually kind of loved watching our Texas brothers and sisters down there work through this week. Scotty says he doesn't have any. Shad says he doesn't have any, but I've been doing a little jibbing and jabbing with a couple of those people out there that get to experience the awesome opportunity of almost a white Christmas.
Snow experience. Shoot.
My truck doesn't know what to do when it says danger, possible ice. It shows up on the dash. I'm like, I didn't know this was a feature on a Southern truck.
Do you count Kentucky as Southern? Because I wouldn't count Illinois as Southern.
Depends on which
Well,
part of the state.
Paducah, Kentucky, and Southern Illinois, Fort Massac. During that little skirmish we had was garrisoned by gray-wearing soldiers.
All right.
Not for long, then the blue ones came down and said, "You all got to get out of here."
Fair enough. And Ray, you're out in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah, I'm up, northeast Philly, so it's cold, man. Well, I'm used to the snow. It ain't nothing new to me. We had some the other day, and it feels like January up here. I'll just say that.
Will you get in trouble if you share with us the secrets of who has the best Philly cheesesteak?
No, because it's a very subjective answer. They're all good, and I've always been a Geno's guy.
Yes, Geno's, yes.
But that's not to say Sandro's is good or Jim's or Pat's. They're all good, man. It's just I don't know. I think what it is, it's nostalgia based. Geno's for me has this really bright orange sign for anybody who knows what it looks like, and being a 6-year-old, it's very vibrant and cool looking. So that's just always been my sentimental go-to. If it ain't broke, don't fix it type of thing.
That is definitely on my bucket list. I have not been to that part of Philadelphia down there, but just to go down and see the two corners where they compete across the streets and be part of that. Yeah,
it's definitely something you gotta check out. It's not. I'll be honest. In my opinion, it's not otherworldly food, but it's a staple and a stop that you have to visit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I got to do that one time. I used to work for a company that makes industrial electric heating equipment, and they're based out of Philadelphia.
Okay.
And so when I was up there once, I had to actually no, they're based there, but I was doing a job in King of Prussia, and on my way back to the airport, I looked at my wife because I took her with me. I'm like, look, we got to do a Philly in Philly at least once. So she looked it up. She's like, well, there's Pat and Geno's. They're right across the street, and they're feuding brothers or some crap. So we got to try it. So that's what we did. We went to one, bought one, went to the other, bought the other, split the sandwiches, and she liked, I want to say I liked Pat's better. She liked Geno's, but it wasn't because of the overall sandwich. It was specific components of the sandwich that we each liked better, and that's what flagged this one higher than that one in our minds.
So which one did you like better?
I think I like Pat's better.
And why did you like Pat's better? What was the deciding factor?
Honestly, I'm wanting to say it was the bread.
Yeah, okay.
And I think my wife liked the cheese sauce better at Geno's. I don't know. If she comes back in, I'll verify. The cheese whiz. But I love the sign at Pat's where they're like, if you don't know what you want, get out of line and come back in when you do. It's just straight up forward. Get your shit straight.
They got hungry people. They need to
absolutely.
Crank out the customers. They ain't got time to be indecisive when it's their time.
Yeah, Ray, my wife is from Reading.
Okay, yeah, that's not too far from me. I know the area.
Yeah, that's right up the road. We used to drive down at least once a month for a cheesesteak.
That's dedication. That's pretty frequent. I'm not gonna lie. I'm 10 minutes away. I haven't been there in years, so I give credit to you.
Look, we're about ready to take a road trip because there's one thing down here in Kentucky we missing: diners.
Oh, really?
Good diner food.
Diner breakfast food is where it's at.
Absolutely.
Like a stack of pancakes and some sunny side up eggs, boy.
Mm-hmm.
I can go for that.
So because of one of my other jobs, I get the chance to frequent the country across, and I always try to hit up without giving some kind of a endorsement, the tree D or Delta TV show. But again, we get to stop at all the diners and the restaurants all over the country just because that's the funnest part of these trips is going and seeing the amazing foods, the cultural based foods, and just how people kind of create community. And that's a big piece of what we're all about is creating community and making sure we're all in the same. Andrea, tell us some of our doings for the week.
Oh, this week we have got, well, and again, we want to definitely pay attention to yesterday, right? Yes, today. Today is Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. Or yesterday. I don't know. I wrote it down as the 10th. Sorry. My bad. And so shout out to all those LEOs out there. We do appreciate you. And we're happy we have you. January 11th. So tomorrow will be, this isn't necessarily on our paradigm, but National Human Trafficking Awareness Day. And if you think back a couple months, we had Johnny Dangerous? Johnny. Holy cow, yeah. And his Save the Children organization. No, Johnny. You're t-shirt guy. Right. Yeah. Okay. And so his organization is Save the Children. He's out in California and wanted to share the message with everyone. And so going back to 2010, by presidential proclamation, each January has been designated National Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month. And following the start of National Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month, with the help of non-government organizations, this became the day that the 11th is the day that we recognize that and observe the Awareness Day for that. And having known Johnny, it's been kind of amazing we do see a lot, an incredible amount of former and current military, police, and all officers that do get involved in that. Well, actually, in Mark probably motorcycle clubs as well that get very involved in that. The 14th, then January 14th, and I'm sorry I was stretching a little bit for this one, but it's National Ratification Day, which goes back to it recognizes the act that officially ended the American Revolution. Okay, and this day is in commemoration of the ratification of the Treaty of Paris on January 14th, 1784, at the Maryland State House in Annapolis, Maryland, by the Confederation Congress, and established the United States as a sovereign entity. What a good day to think about our beginnings, right? The Confederation Congress issued a proclamation on April 11th, 1783, quotation mark, declaring the cessation of arms, end quote, against Great Britain. Congress approved the preliminary articles of peace on April 15th, 1783, and then the Treaty of Paris was ratified in January 14th, 1784. Is it amazing to think that, like, today's world, we don't have to wait for the mail to cross the ocean to get that over and settle the arguments and sign the treaties? I mean, wow. Wow.
Well, we say that, and again, we're trying not to be involved with some of the stuff that's going on, but if we're not watching things closely, we may be in that same boat here in the next week, I guess. We'll see what happens here. Shad just added a note to the show notes too. We're keeping our eye open. You know what? This is something, and we've been struggling. It's not a struggle. It's really not a struggle. We lost a good friend this last week in our network because they felt that we had said something that went against another group or another cultural group, and I have zero apologies to give, to be honest with you. The piece that I put out there real quick was that I wanted our media to stop calling it an armed insurrection. And I know this is where some people can come bang us up a little bit about this. I wanted our media to stop calling it a coup for a number of reasons. And I don't know where everyone stands on this in this platform with us today, but I did not see it as that. Did it this is what I will say. A message got lost. A message got lost because some people became ding-dongs. And there was a time where I saw people pushing through a barrier, and that told me that the time was wrong then at that point. And so I don't condone any of the aggression. I don't condone any of the destruction of property. I don't condone any of that. But what I do condone is everyone have the opportunity to speak their voice. I will go to my grave giving and making sure everyone has the chance to share their point of view. I do want it to be an educated point of view. I do want it to be a point of view that understands all sides, and we'll get through this. From what I hear, there's some things that are going to be going on, and you know what? I don't know. This is what I ask. I ask that you educate yourself and you look and see all sides. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this tonight. It is what it is, and one of the things that we've been saying from day in and day out from the beginning of when we started this show, your goal is to be safe. To have food in your belly, a roof over your head, and to be safe. And that is our goal. That is our mission. That is for all of our first responders. That is for all of our military personnel and veterans. And that is for all the people that they call themselves patriots. And we define our patriots as those that love this country and are willing to make sure that this country heads in the right direction. And that's based on all the voices of all the people that call this their country. So that's my platform. It's the People's Patriot Project. We can have a conversation about that here in a bit if you want to, but I just kind of want to move away from it. But I jumped that one, so.
No, but just a reassurance that our mission doesn't change. Our mission stays the same. Our focus stays the same. We aren't jumping into any boats. We are sticking with what we do and moving forward. So. We'll remain neutral on that one and watch and learn, basically, is what we will be doing, and then support. So yeah, I have a big ask, you guys, and I've been putting this out there a little bit, and I don't know that anyone on our screen right now can necessarily. I mean, I've been pushing Chad a little bit, and I think you guys would all enjoy this. We're jumping in with a Fishing for Life group, and they veterans are one of their big reaches, and children are another of their big reaches. And we're focusing on a veteran and first responder fishing tournament on February 6th. And we would love to have you on our team. We probably have about 10 people on our team so far, and we can have up to 25. We're going to be on Lake Waconia in Waconia, Minnesota. And for those of you guys down there, we've been under 30 degrees for quite some time, and there's a lot of ice. A lot of ice on the lakes.
Ice fishing does not go into
So,
all right.
The program's called Holes for Heroes. Now, the holes aren't for the heroes. The heroes don't go in the holes. That's a different program. This is holes drilled in the ice to fish in. And it's HOLES.
Oh my gosh.
Any letters in there?
All right, so February 6th.
Nice hole.
I'm just saying this.
Have to be the name of our team.
Waiting to fish, just no. Unless you have like a very large coffee pot there, I'm not even considering it.
That could happen.
We can do. Oh, there's going to be coffee. So that's part of it. It's free. So we're inviting our veteran and our first responder friends and family. Any family of those groups can come as well. The metro area lake is there. We have plenty of room for guests, family, kids. You just have to show up. The equipment. Oh my gosh, I didn't copy and paste this. The equipment, the warming house, the snacks. There's a barbecue station. Everything will be provided, as well as leadership on the ice. So fishing guides, they do have fishing guides for ice fishing, believe this or not. My husband is actually out on the ice right now, and I heard, and I know how fish measuring goes. That's not 6 inches, by the way. But he did catch this really big crappie through the ice hole today. A few of them.
I hear they're going to have barbecued bait there. Is that correct?
Yeah, fresh minnows. Sushi. It's a sushi. No, it's not. It's yes. All right, so
Sushi
it's
on
going
the
to be
ice?
fun.
Man, what more could you want?
Serious. I'm going to put up some contact information on that one, you guys, while we're here. I'm going to put up Mark's phone number, but I'm going to put my email address as well. And so please send a text and an email. We will get you lined up. If you're not in the metro area and you want to take part in this, let us know, because we have friends all over the state that are doing this, and we can get you on a lake, even if you can't be with us. So there's my plug. Thank you. Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah.
So I know he's our guest, but Shad, you've done the research. How about you introduce our guest tonight?
All right. So, as I normally do, I like to scour Instagram looking for veteran musicians. And I came across a group which says that they are all about veteran musicians. And through that group, I actually found a guy that goes by the name of Stay Metal Ray. And that is our guest, Ray Charles. And so we've got, shit, my mind's like at the moment. Hold on. So basically, yes, Ray does a lot of different things. Ray is an Army veteran. Ray is a YouTuber, and he's also in a metal band, which, correct me if I'm wrong, Ray, but this is technically your band that you've had for a while, but now you're just at the point where you've got band members.
Yes, that is correct, and I could elaborate on that, when we get to it. But yes, that is correct for sure.
All right, and then as far let's dive into your military first,
Sure.
Because as we were talking, you had said that you were in for what, 4 years?
Yes, sir, 4 years.
And what did you do while you were in?
First, I just want to say thank you, everybody, for having me on. I really appreciate the opportunity. This is awesome. But yeah, so I was in for 4 years. I enlisted first. My Army career is quite interesting in the fact that I enlisted first as a 13 Bravo cannon crew member, an artilleryman. And I did that for about pull a string, make a loud noise. That's pretty much all I did.
Isn't that what you did, Mark?
I was 198s and the 155s. Yes.
Yeah, right on, man. Yeah.
Party poppers.
So I did that for about 2 years, and then I actually went to Officer Candidate School in Fort Benning, Georgia, and then I became an 11 Alpha infantryman, and that's where I ended up. After 4 years, I got out as a lieutenant. So my career was like split down the middle, half enlisted, half on the officer side. That's pretty much how it all went down. And unfortunately, it was cut short due to some injuries. But certainly was enjoyable for the time being while my body was able to do the jobs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right
so
on.
That's pretty much it. That's pretty much my career in a nutshell.
Gotcha. So now, as a YouTuber, what do you do?
So my YouTube channel is all things hard rock and metal guitar. Anything from doing covers of famous songs and bands to educational stuff like learning how to play the guitar, from music theory to notation to understanding where the notes are on the guitar fretboard, to learning about different guitar gear, like different amplifiers, guitar cabinets, guitars themselves, and lastly, just how to make yourself sound good in terms of recording and stuff like that. So all of that wrapped up into one thing that I am the sole operator of has become my full-time job for the last 3 years. Ever since I got out of the Army, there's a period of going to school and doing YouTube, and now I'm doing YouTube as a full-time job. So it's been an everyday grind and a hustle, but that is one of two passions of mine, and the other one is the band. So it's quite the dream come true, I'll tell you. It really is.
Well, that's fucking awesome, man. So now what you mentioned music, what was that? musictheory.com?
Yes. Music theory for metal.com. That's actually,
and so that
Go ahead.
And that's your baby, right?
That's another one. Yeah, it's another one of my revenues. I actually started during lockdown, which is an online business of teaching music theory in a way that is relevant and obtainable using metal music as a reference point. The reason why I started that business is because music theory and music is always taught like using like Mary Had a Little Lamb as an example, or Hot Cross Buns, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and that's fine, but it's very hard to take that information and like spin it and put it out and use it as like a metal, like use that in like extreme metal context. It's like it's apples and oranges, it's night and day. So I created the business to bridge that gap of like doing everything that I did in school, which was taking those silly little songs, Mary Had a Little Lamb, Hot Cross Buns, whatever, and then process it in my brain and then try to educate and teach in the way that is kind of more, like I said, obtainable and just recognizable using modern day metal and hard rock examples to like help teach music theory that way.
All right, that's cool. So then, now that we've covered that part of it, I'm interested in the music that you do. How long have you been playing? What got you into doing music?
Cool. Yeah. So I've been obsessed and infatuated with music since birth. I was born in '92, and this isn't a cliche. This isn't a cheesy statement, but my earliest memory is being like in my crib listening to Pearl Jam's 10, the album that album came out in like 1992, or Metallica's The Black Album came out in 1991, and my dad had bought both of those and was playing it on his I think it was like a cassette player back in the day. And so
and at no point have I ever felt older than I do right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm like ages because I went and bought those albums.
Thank you.
In his crib. I was like, in your house, your crib, but that's your crib.
Yeah, literally my crib. Yeah, my little baby crib. So my dad is, I always cite him as my biggest source of inspiration and motivation for music. He taught me how to play the guitar at the age of 11, and he had always like banged on the guitar and like played a couple Zeppelin songs here and there, but I don't know, for whatever reason I just became like, I kind of, with anything I do in life, it's like I just do it 100%, and that's a gift and a curse. But with the guitar, I just became obsessed with it. That's all I did and wanted to do throughout like my entire like 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old, teenage, preteen life. And then from there, it kind of took a back seat because I got involved in sports in high school, and then I went to college, then I went to the Army. So it kind of took a back seat, but it came full circle when I got hurt in the Army and I got med boarded out. I had no real ability to do anything physical or be physically active. So it was like kind of like a conscious choice of like, well, might as well start playing the guitar again. And kind of like what I said, when I picked it up, I started doing it 110% and started putting myself out there on the internet. So getting hurt and getting out kind of was a blessing in disguise, because I could be in right now potentially and be a captain or something. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. But I'm so thankful that I'm not in. Not to say I didn't love it. I absolutely loved it. But I get to do my passion and my thing that I was obsessed with ever since I can remember, that is music. So it's just funny how like, it was kind of like plan C. It wasn't really a plan, but like I kind of was like dealt with a hand where I couldn't do what I wanted to do, because actually I wanted to get out of the Army and do some sort of law enforcement, be a state police officer, regional police officer. I don't know, but I wanted to do something physical as well as try to do my very best to help people. But now that I can't do that, I was like, well, what else do I have? What other skills do I have in the toolbox, so to speak? And music was the only one left. So I was like, all right, I'll just do that, because that was like my last passion that I could do. So like I said, it's just a weird thing how things work out.
Did you try to use or hone your craft while you were in the military? I mean, a lot of guys do have the opportunity.
In terms of like music, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually started my YouTube channel while I was going through the med board process, because I don't know if anybody else here is familiar with it or has gone through it, but you're just sitting around, like you're literally, doing details and desk work. You're not going to the firing range. You're not doing any of the fun stuff. You're not going on ruck marches. So I was working a desk job, and then when I'd go home, I would just do it because of like it filled the void of like, I couldn't do my job. And plus I was, in pain and had surgeries pending. I was pretty bummed out. So like I started my YouTube channel while I was in, and it just like it's just so much fun to me, and it was just a way for me to like, I guess maybe to be distracted, and a way for me to be kind of entertained by my own passion and kind of forget about, the unfortunate circumstances of being medboarded, and how that all was playing out for me. So yeah, I definitely was doing it while I was in.
I know your heart and your passion is in the metal world. Did you dabble in any other genre or just play around with anything else?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm like a classic rock kid at heart. Like I grew up, again, going back to my dad, like I grew up on Led Zeppelin, The Who, The Clash, the Sex Pistols, the Aerosmith, Boston. So like my roots, if you will, are in classic rock. So like that's honestly one of my favorite things to play. But whenever it's my turn to create something, it just comes out way heavier than any of that stuff. So I don't know if it's I don't know if it's hardwired up here or what, but it's just whenever it's my turn to create something, it's like it's got to be down tuned, it's got to be loud, it's got to be heavy. It's just what comes out and comes natural. So yeah, I love all genres of rock and roll and things like that, but it's just when it's my turn to create, it just comes out heavier than all of that stuff. I don't know why.
This is not necessarily a question directed to you, but you brought up the word cassette. Do you guys remember when cassettes went from the white epoxy, polypropylene, whatever, to the clear see-through and how cool that was? I was like, gosh. Yeah, my ZZ Top cassette was the first one. I was like, we are the coolest culture on the face of the earth with this cassette tape right here. Afterburner, baby. Yeah, no, that's.
I do.
Yeah,
I
but even
rewind my cassette because it got stuck multiple times.
yeah, and you put your pencil in it, and you.
I gotta say, number 2 pencil is very good.
Yep.
For hours.
I
See,
had
like, that happened a lot when you were trying to not get the radio DJs words in your song, but they always talked right up until the song started. And like Sister Christian, you know how many times I tried to get that one, and they just kept talking.
Ray's going, God, get these old people off.
Night Ranger. That's Night Ranger for anyone that wants to know who
I have my fair share of cassettes of like trying to like you're saying, like get the DJ. It's like he's talking through the beginning of the song, but you want to record the song so you have it. And then you have this DJ just talking over the intro of the song you're trying to have saved on your homemade, what do you call it? I guess it's literally a mixtape.
Mixtape. You had to push, and if you weren't smart enough, because if you pushed record, that didn't get the job done. You had to push record and play. If you messed that up, you didn't get a recording. So that's
I think if you just push record, it would record the audio. Like there was a built-in microphone to the boombox or whatever. Like it would record your room or whatever. It's like you had to hit play and record if I got that correctly to like get the radio or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
So what was your first album you remember you buying on your own?
On my own is Led Zeppelin 2. Led Zeppelin, it wasn't an album. It was, it was a CD, but I can remember I think I did some sort of yard sale or something, and I was like 11, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy something that's like it's cool, and I thought it was cool in the sense like it wasn't like relevant to the time of 2003. Led Zeppelin 2 came out in like 69. So like I made a conscious decision to be like, I'm going to buy something like cool and vintage. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was like, I'm going to buy something that's like, not many people know about, or at least in my head, not many people know about. But that was my first one, man.
I'm going to dread this conversation. I promise I'm going to dread it. But Brian, what was your first album you remember buying?
Uh-oh.
You got to know your first album. If not, I got to kick you off the show or something.
All right. Dude, until I joined the Army, memory, marijuana, there was this thing. You know.
All right.
I'm never running for political office.
Scotty's second question for yourself.
You might laugh at me, which Brian's definitely going to know what I'm talking about. But Ralph Stanley, bluegrass tape.
Oh.
Growing up in Eastern Kentucky, I was a big bluegrass fan.
Okay. Andrea.
I know this is tough. I think so. I had a ton of 45s because I had one of those players you could.
What exactly is a 45, Andrea?
Yeah, I know it's the
Some
small.
of us younger people.
So those record players. Well, the younger people know again, but stop it. So I had this, whatever. I think it was the Cars.
That's cool.
I couldn't tell you the names of the songs. Something upside down. Yeah, whatever. I don't remember so well either.
So my very first purchased album was a dual pack. It was Blondie with the Village People, which is I'm really hating this conversation, but they came together.
Wow.
What's even worse? This is worse. My first cassette that I remember buying. I almost don't even want to admit this. Olivia Newton-John, Physical. That was
Physical. Okay, there you go.
Cassette. Yeah.
I think that's the only song she
That
has.
was
outside of Greece, probably. Yeah.
Hey, look, in Europe, I owned a couple Wham albums. Okay, it happened.
Now it's coming out. Now we're starting. Yeah, now we're starting to admit.
That's all good.
Wham's cool.
But I also saw Whitesnake play at a bar before they made it famous. So.
Oh yeah, yep. I saw Whitesnake when they opened for Great White. They opened for Great White in a small concert. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw them in a club in Germany
before Tawny Katane became a thing.
Yeah.
So I know Shad has done the majority of your preload on this, and we've got a song queued up ready to go. I can't see the title, but I do see it queued, and we will launch this. This is everyone's next upload because we didn't have these back 30, 40, 50 years ago. So everyone's next upload will be Luna Muerta's, what is the song?
I believe it is the song Fragments, which is the first one we put out on this past Friday the 13th, November 13th.
I do see FRA, so that's
the one.
Here is Mr. Charles with Luna Muerta and Fragments.
Baby,
Wow.
I heard the beginning and the roots of like when you were talking about the simple songs in there, and then moved on to something that was definitely more uh, literally, I mean, graphic. And where do you think that clicked in your life?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
What's the question? Can you repeat the question?
So I heard at the beginning, there's the parts where you basically in the beginning of the interview we were talking about Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and that, and I heard the kind of the variations of that at the beginning of the song,
Okay, yeah,
and then you get in and there's zero argument. You can say this is graphically, visually, it grabs you, but there's also just the graphic sense of the art of the music. What clicked to you to get to that next level?
Okay, all right. That's a good question. For me, I think it's all about just like creating a good song and a catchy song. Me being from a metal background, it seems like the I guess just in music in general, it's like people seem to try so hard to come up with something that's so technically complex and like just like objectively hard to play and or sing or whatever. But there's the problem with that is that you lose the art of writing a good song or writing something that has a hook. It's called a hook for a reason because the audience is anticipating it and it grabs you and you want to hear it again. So to answer your questions, like where does that connect with in my life? Like those synth parts in the beginning of the song and like the ambience, and that's just all like a simple and catchy melody that's sitting in the background that you don't really even know is there until you actually like sit down and listen to it, or like
Sure.
you hear it after multiple times, or you really like pay attention. So I think it's just a combination of just like making sure you write a song that's not necessarily so complex but has a hook to it and is catchy, and just write something that sounds good, for lack of a better word. It doesn't have to be you know a super shreddy guitar solo playing a million notes a million miles an hour, because that can get really stale in the first 30 seconds. But if you write something
Sure.
write something that gets your head bobbing, at least in my opinion, I think that's way better and way more a better way to reach an audience and have it connect with somebody.
Well, and without the interview, to be honest with you, I wouldn't have been able to. That I mean, there were just things popping in my head because of the interview. I mean, then that's kind of the piece. I mean, I think one of the greatest artistic pieces put out there right now, and people think I'm funny for this, but if you've watched Hamilton, how much Miranda has put into that piece, and just how everything has its innate piece, and even in the music, how a layperson, and I wouldn't consider myself a layperson. I've got a significant background in music, not that I've used it for anything, but just to know that every character has a different cant in that play, and I don't want to fall off what this because I was
you're
very very
I totally
impressed.
get it. I appreciate you making that connection. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it just when you have someone who's in tune with their art or their craft or their it's soothing to understand where the history and the from the back to front and then also from the front back. It's a conversation both ways,
And,
and
and, the,
it's
and
just very impressive.
the front going forward, the front to the
Yeah,
future, like where I'm at right now. Who knows what I or the other two in the band, Jenny and Pat, will create. But yeah, it's like this band is something that I've always wanted. It's very theatrical, as you said. I think you could put two and two together. That's me in the mask. Because
what?
yeah, process of elimination. Yeah, this is
Yeah, no, we never figured that one out.
this is one of three I've made, and I've always wanted. I'm obsessed with like horror movies and like 80s slashers. I think it's way more artistic to have some sort of a character or a persona, as opposed to somebody just dressed in all black, trying to look tough while they're playing. Like you get a dime a dozen. So I created something that's a little off to the eye, and it's kind of like almost like a pretty woman, in a sense, with like a pink bow and like some makeup that I painted myself. I painted this whole thing myself. I made it from scratch. So like that's a whole nother element of the art that goes into it as well. It's like this right here this will give you nightmares if you catch it, at the wrong lighting outside somewhere. So it's another thing as opposed to just being myself. There's nothing wrong with the way I look, at least in my opinion. But it's just another thing of like being in tune with the art, being in tune with the visual that goes in touch with the audio as well.
Well, I don't want you to give away any craft secrets, so to speak. And I had some questions in line that was going to get us to that character. Does that character have a name in your?
Right now, she's just the pretty woman, and I took a lot of inspiration from Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But it's just I wanted to come up with something that is just off. It's not like, in my opinion, it's not like super try hard. I didn't pay an artist to make it. I bought this mask at Spirit Halloween. It was skin tone, and I spray painted it with spray paint, cut the eyes out, put the mouth and the zipper in it, put the bow on it, put the twine on it, put the leather buckles on it. I did it all myself, and it's just like, to me, that was just way better of a just an added thing, and not so much like of a cop out of like just buying like a mask and not doing anything to it. I made it myself, and it just adds to the overall package of the character of the entity.
How many people in the veteran world are aware that this is something that you do?
I would say not very many. Only the ones that know me prior, like from being in the Army. I wouldn't say I'm well known or known at all in the veteran community.
Sure.
And I don't, I don't know if that's just me being in my own little bubble and not knowing how far I'm able to reach, but I think I'm much more in tune with like the guitar community as opposed to the veteran community. Because honestly, I think a lot of people don't even really know I'm a veteran because
sure.
I don't know. It's just not something that it's not something that I tell everybody. And it's not that I'm very proud of it, but I don't know. I don't know why that is, honestly, now I think about it. It's just, I don't know. I'm more in tune with what I'm doing now. That's a part of me. It's a part of my life. I'm very proud of it and I love it. But like, kind of like what I was saying, I got hurt. I'm like, that's done, let it be. No sense like making that my entire world now. I'm continuing to go on and do, my next chapter in life, which is being a lot more artistic and creative. You know what I mean?
I love it. And I want to, and it comes across cliche sometimes, but I mean, we're very passionate about what we do and how we approach it. And we want to, I mean, we first of all want to say thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you.
And we thank you for your craft as well. And I don't know if there's a future in honing your craft towards helping veterans and first responders, or and again, we have a post show here, and you're welcome to stay as long as you can or want to. And anyone that's listening, you're welcome to come and join us for our post show as well and ask questions. We do shut the live off. But it's just an awesome opportunity to collaborate and work together and come up with opportunities and resources and find a way to help I think it's an essential asset, our veterans and our first responders. I believe happy heroes create happy communities. And again, you're a prime example of this, Ray. We thank and love that you were on here. I'm blown away at how time has actually flown by tonight. A lot of times we're digging and scrambling for more material and content, and even with the best guests, and even when we've had a guest and a musician on, but it's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you have time to hang around a little bit. I see Shad's got another song ready to go. We want to make sure that we are showcasing your craft. I will openly say it's not for everybody, but it is for somebody, and we full-heartedly believe that. And here's an example, and I'm not diminishing or tearing down or hurting or harming. We have people come on a lot with a very spiritual-driven, and that's a lifestyle, and they want to make sure that that the story and the message of their faith is what gets people through. We also send the message that that's not for everyone. Not that I'm here to argue those. Brian is a great man of faith, and that's a part of his directive, and we full-heartedly support that. We also know that this is a platform to gather and get some people that maybe didn't even think about it in the past. They might hear some of your music and say, "Yo, I like that. I like to hear that." And so we don't we don't tear any message down, and that's the truth. And I like your message. I like your craft. I like your art. We're excited about it. And again, we will get a chance to talk more. Shad, you got that next song ready to go, brother?
Yes. So yeah, Ray, you had sent me another song in case we needed it, and if you're fine with it, we will play. What was that called?
Yeah, sure. So this is called The Coldest Winter, and it was a quick little thing we put out during Christmas time, so it has a Christmas vibe to it. But yeah, it's just a quick
Nice.
little song. It's heavy and it's fun and it's cool. So I'll leave it at that.
All right, guys. So here it is, "The Coldest Winter" by Luna Muerte.
Christmas Eve at the studio and the band gathered around. Socially distant, of course, to keep safe and sound. Great barrel guitar and Jenny and Mike. Pat got a lump of coal and was told to take a hike. They laughed and drank eggnog and rode through the night, coming up with song ideas to the left and to the right. When all was said and done, they were full of holiday cheer. They had come up with a Christmas jam for all to have.
I told you it was cool.
It is. You know,
Right on.
Yeah, that was a little
Like,
thing that came up for Christmas. It was fun. It was a fun little thing we came up with.
I'm not sure what you get to see on your side, but because I've got the master host here, I get to see everyone's faces during the show, and I just love the smile on your face. You are proud of this baby, and I love it, man. This is awesome.
I'm proud. I'm a very happy person, and anytime I get to share anything that I think is cool with one person, I can't stop smiling. And it's funny, I get a lot of hate on my YouTube channel for smiling too much. Imagine that, for like enjoying what I do. But it's like it's become my thing. Like whenever I get to do something or share something that I love, it comes out, and I can't help it. So it's funny you mentioned that.
Well, I hope you never stop smiling and
Only
you
getting
keep
bigger.
doing your thing. I love it, man. I love it.
Thank you.
What do we have anything we have to do before we close out?
I would say if Ray's got anything social media wise he wants to share out, by all means, man, lay it at us.
All right, right on. Yeah, so my YouTube channel is Stay Metal Ray. My Instagram, no space, no caps, is Stay Metal Ray. And then my band, Luna Muerta, Luna space Muerta, is on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, literally anywhere you can stream and or buy music, it's there. If you feel compelled to follow anything that I'm affiliated with, that would That would mean a lot. It would make me happy. So yeah, that's all I got to say. And I just want to say thank you to everybody for allowing me to have the platform and the means to share everything that I'm into. It means a lot.
Well, the People's
Anytime.
Patriot Project has no problem promoting our veterans and the gift and the crafts that they have, and so that's not a question for us. And again, we'll have some discussion after we're in post show here. If you got time to hang out for a minute
Absolutely.
and see how this all fits together and how we can work together and how we can continue to save lives, I think that's our biggest piece of our mission. And gosh, it's exciting because it's just one more tool having you with us, Ray, and I think that's an awesome opportunity because I do think that we have some brothers and sisters that gravitate to this, and it's important to the big picture. So
Absolutely.
With that said, as we always say, the People's Patriot Project is an opportunity and for you to serve. We give those who have served a chance to continue to serve, and we give those who never had the chance the opportunity to serve. Our primary goal and mission is to make sure that we are taking care of those who have served, and it's a gigantic piece in the heart and in the mission and in the move. If you're interested, please reach out to us. Again, all of our stuff's out on our website, our Facebook page, our Facebook group, Andrea's stuff. We share, and if you are a mission of a like mission such as ours, such as Brian Gibson and Project Die Hard and Scotty Sexton with Forgotten 22, and the list goes on and on and on. What an amazing year. We're still compiling the data for those that we've reached this last year. And again, we're going to knock on wood. 2018, 2019, and 2020, we have had 0 losses in the network of the People's Patriot Project. And so we will hang our hat on that hook. We're not looking for you to compete or change that narrative. If you are feeling like you're in a place where you just need a brother and sister, reach out to us. Anyone on this screen, anyone in our network, we will find you, we will get to you, and we will help you with what you need. We appreciate all those that have served. We appreciate those on the front lines now. Those are our first responders and our people in service. Thank you for all you do. Patriot Pride.